Hello Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for Black Butler, Chapter 156. When we last left our heroes, Mey-Rin was caught by Jane peeping in on Baron Heathfield's sexy times. And she had a talk with Jane about how the Baron is looking for women who feel like his dead wife in spirit, and among other things. And then the next day, Ronmao is picked to be the next one to have sexy times with the Baron. But she does not come back in the morning. And Jane implies that she will be back in like a few days, but Mey-Rin is skeptical. And that's kind of where we left off, going to chapter 156, The Butler Proposing. And our cover here is Jane watching while Mey-Rin sweeps the floor. I keep wanting to call Jane Abby. I'm not sure why I do. Virtuous while the sun is out. As we open with the maids lowering a chandelier. Lower it slowly. Ooh, it's covered with dust. Well, we finished cleaning the chandeliers in the main hall. Oh, will we? Sorry, I'm on Comixology here. They're doing the 2-page thing, which means the text is really tiny, which is not fun. Anyway, will we finish cleaning the chandeliers in the main hall before noon? Don't take it apart yet. We must take notes beforehand. We won't be able to reassemble it otherwise. And while the maids are talking about this, Mey-Rin is thinking about what happened to Ronmao. Something must have happened to Ronmao. But I can't afford making a fuss here now. The Baron might have just liked her. And she has an image of the Baron and Ronmao, and she clears her head. I must confirm Ronmao's safety as soon as I can. And she starts violently scrubbing the banister. I don't have time to look for her, as I have so much work to do. I must seize an opportunity somehow. And then some more time passes. I can finally take a break, and she starts to leave the maids are having a break in a break room, I guess, and she leaves them behind. I'll go to the Baron's bedroom now. May, someone calls out to her. Probably Jane, yep. The laundry room isn't in the West Wing. It isn't. And they both turn away. And they both have this serious glare at each other. I remember calling out right when... Sorry, my phone went Siri mode. Anyway, I remember when they first met each other, all of the glaring the two of them were doing, it very much brings back that. I have no choice. And we see Mey-Rin is putting on some kind of clothes. I can't quite make out what they're all supposed to be. I can see her shoes on the bottom of the page, but the rest of it I'm a little clear. I must enter from outside, I must. And yeah, she somehow leaped over the building? Alright, good for you, Mey-Rin. The Baron's bedroom is the rear room on the 3rd floor of the West Wing. That's his bedroom. She's now, hanging off on the wall on the 3rd floor. And she sees his room in the distance. And she, crawls over there on the little, ledge outside the house. She looks inside. Neither the Baron nor Ronmao is inside. And she walks in through the window. She licks her finger and puts it into the air. Even though all the windows there's a drought. Even though all the windows are closed. The drought is blowing in from around here, it is. And she goes over to a bookshelf, and she pushes the bookshelf to reveal a secret staircase. She goes down, she finds a door, she opens the door, and she sees all the missing women hooked up in beds, getting their blood drawn. And we see Polaris marked on one of the blood bags. They're all females. They're dead. No, they're having their blood drawn after they've been put to sleep. Well, I guess we've answered this question. The Baron summoned many women under the pretense of hiring maids, and created a blood collection factory that doesn't allow them to either live or die. And she sees Ronmao also hooked up. Ronmao? And a gun goes off. She notices something, and then a gun goes off, and she barely ducks out of the way, hides behind one of the beds, and someone, probably Jane, jumps out in front of her. Yeah, it's Jane. They both fire. Jane! And they're both shooting at each other. Their guns are now, this far apart, right? And they stop as they're both shooting each other. I knew right away when I saw you change. You're not an ordinary maid. You're accustomed to killing. I don't know who sent you here, but we have a proposal for you that you'll accept if you're smart. We promise you double, no, triple what you're being paid now. So, work for us instead. Many people will be inconvenienced if this manor is destroyed. They're trying to buy Mey-Rin off. Okay. Well, it's not a bad idea, is it? Not a bad deal. Well, it's not a bad deal, is it? Oh, she's flashing back to when she first met CL. Those eyes. Won't you make the most of those for young master? That's Sebastian. Alright. That's the end of the chapter. To be continued. See you next month. This chapter was honestly really good. It's one of those things that reminds us that if Butler really tries, it's a great series. It hasn't been trying a whole lot lately, but when it wants to be, this series is fucking great. You know, like it has the potential to be propulsive. As we get Mey-Rin, you know, finally finding out what's going on in the manor, encountering Jane, fighting Jane, having Jane give her, an offer on leaving CL's service to work for Heathfield, and presumably real CL and Undertaker and everyone they're working for. And that's all really good and really advancing the plot. But then, the last page. Maybe I'm just a little skeptical from 2CT, but the last thing we need right now is another months-long flashback, right? Like, the series is not, like, we spent a year on 2CT, a flashback that probably could have been done better in, like, 3 chapters, maybe 4 chapters, I don't know. And we don't need that again. Like, I'm hoping this flashback ideally would be like half a chapter at best. Knowing Yana, it'll probably be a chapter or 2. But we really don't need another flashback. For one thing, I highly doubt Mey-Rin's backstory is going to enliven this arc at all. It just kind of feels like a way to pad out, the main storyline, because Yana does not want this arc to end. So yeah, I'm not enthused by a Mey-Rin flashback, and I hope it's as short as physically possible. Unless it turns out that Mey-Rin was working for Heathfield and tried to assassinate CL, and then CL caught her, and that's how she started working for CL. Maybe that'll work, but that's just too convoluted at this point. That's going dangerously into Mest Rider territory, and we do not need that. But yeah, this chapter as it was, ignoring that last page, was a lot of fun. We got Mey-Rin and Jane, and then, you know, we found out once and for all the whole looking for someone like his wife is total bullshit, unless his wife's blood is somehow similar to the Polaris blood that he seems to be harvesting. Which reminds us, we still have not met any of the other 3 stars besides Sirius, right? Real CL was Sirius, right? That sounds right to me. But yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this month's chapter. Maybe. Let me take a look-see again. Yeah, that's all I gotta say for this month's chapter. So I hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, please give me a like or subscribe or, you know, do whatever makes you happy, you know? And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!